Hello, slot car fans, and especially those working with the Carrera Evolution Power Track I'm showing here. This earlier generation of Power Track that has vertical inputs rather than the horizontal ones like most of the newer ones have. Because this one is the old style that is just no integrated circuitry or anything. It's not a drive-by-wire. The power actually goes through your thumb controllers, just like it did on all the older versions in most other slot car sets. Now, what we have here is I was talking about the Carrera Evolution track and trying to use this to power other kinds of cars. And I'm just using the original power supply that came with this track. I think it's 14.8 volts. And it has the two separate outputs from the transformer to go into your power inputs here. But my goal was, I wanted to be able to use this same track and power system with these competition style cars, the ones with the metal chassis and Lexan bodies. Just for grins, I thought it might be fun to try it out. So I've got a few of these that I've been running out at Dallas Slot Cars, and so I thought I'd like to try them on my Evolution track. And so you guys have probably seen a number of videos where I've ran a few of these different cars. Some of them had different bodies on them at the time and such, but still they're basically the same style cars. And some of the cars, in fact quite a few of the 1/24 scale ones especially, were having some stuttering issues where, all of a sudden the car would just stop on the track and I'd go look at it and fiddle with the brushes, think, well, maybe it's something going on here with the contacts. So I'd fiddle with the contacts and put it back on the track again. And I'd run a few more laps and then stop. And I noticed that my handle, the speed control handle, I could feel a little bit of warmth coming out of there. And this sort of reminded me of the problems I ended up having with the Carrera Go with the 1/43rd scale power system. And, kind of like deja vu all over again. And if you've seen any of my videos on that, I ended up doing some modifications to the Carrera Go power track system in order to take out the thermal overload. And that allowed me to run just about any brand of cars, or it basically does allow me to run any brand of cars. But with the adjustable power supplies. But in this case, I mentioned before, I was going to take this track apart and let's see what's going on in here. So that's what I did. It's just got 6 screws. And guess what? Those 6 screws are the same size as the screws that hold your body on the chassis. The standard size screws that hold the body on the chassis of the Carrera cars. So that's kind of interesting. If you lose a screw, you might be able to steal one from over here if you had to, right? But here's the thing. This is super, super simple. It has next to nothing in there. There's no electronic components like the Carrera Go. Even the older Carrera Go that I said is, not drive-by-wire and doesn't use integrated circuits. It at least has a couple of caps and a couple of resistors in there. Well, this doesn't appear to have the resistors. It's just got these 2 capacitors. There's one there, and there's one there that are in parallel across the lanes. And from what little I understand about electronics, I think that's just there to reduce interference and get rid of any AC ripple in the DC power. And so, or at least get rid of some of it. So basically what we have here is we don't have a thermal overload in there. So, whoops, I can't see that well. Once again, I'll show you this inside up close. It's just the wires going directly to those terminals that are on the front. And just going to the track with nothing but that one capacitor on each lane. Or on each, basically on each side, power side. So that's interesting. That means that in this case for this track, the thermal overload protection is not in the track as far as I can tell. Now, you guys that have worked with this stuff before, if you got some other ideas, let me know. But my guess is now that overload protection is either going to be in the transformer or in the speed controls. And since the transformer never got warm or anything, I'm kind of thinking it might not be in there, and that the thermal overload resistor might be built into the speed control handles rather than into the track like it is on the Carrera Go. So, we're going to end up having to take apart one of those things and have a look at it and see. But in the meantime, I just thought I'd fill you guys in that, there's really not much anything in here. There's not much for me to work with, and there's nothing I can improve at the moment. So I think we're just going to have to look elsewhere to stop the stalling problem. So I hope if anybody else is kind of trying to do some stuff like this, they don't have to reinvent the wheel. Hopefully they'll see this video and check into other things and see what else they can do. And let me know if you do, and let me know if you got any answers. Please give me some info in the comments. Thanks for watching.